Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Township of Lacey Caucus meeting. Today's date, February 27th, 6 p.m. Adequate notice this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press, and the Beacon was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. We'll have a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 1, special use permit, Lacey United Methodist Church Blessing of the Cars event on April 6th, 2025.
The Lacey United Methodist Church is seeking permission to host a Blessing of the Cars event on Sunday, April 6th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in their parking lot.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain on that?
Yes.
Item number 2, special use permit, Lacey United Methodist Church Car Show, May 10th, 2025.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll abstain on that one, too.
For the record, I'd just like to say the good people at the United Methodist Church hosted an event the other night where there was an author there and donated the proceeds of his book to the Tunnels to Towers. And just fine people over there at that United Methodist Church.
Very nice.
Thank you.
I have nothing else to add.
Motion to close this meeting?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Township of Lacey, February 27th, 2025. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act pursuant to Public Laws of 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press, and the Beacon was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. We'll have a salute to the flag and a moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 1, first reading of ordinance 2025-04, providing for various capital improvements and the acquisitions of various capital equipment.
Ordinance of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, providing for various capital improvements and the acquisition of various capital equipment, appropriating $3,538,500, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3,121,000 bonds and notes to finance a portion of the cost thereof, authorized in and by the Township of Lacey in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey. This is for various building improvements, the purchase and remounting of emergency service vehicles, road improvements, dam inspections, and dredging projects.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. LeRae?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 2, second reading of ordinance 2025-03, establishing new Chapter 241 entitled Municipal Buildings Restricted Areas so as to safeguard public records.
Ordinance of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, establishing new Chapter 241 entitled Municipal Buildings Restricted Areas so as to safeguard public records. Second reading, open the floor to public comment. Yep.
Go ahead.
Regina DeSenza, Sunset Drive, Sunrise Beach. I would just like an explanation, what the restricted areas are, how many, and, public records, is it just a storage area? I just wanted a little more of a description on that.
Sure. So the ordinance includes the clerk's office except for the lobby area, construction, zoning, land use office except for the lobby area, mail and supply rooms, server room, employee break room and kitchen, CFO, finance office, tax assessor's office except for the lobby area, tax collector office, conference rooms, court office, storage areas, recreation office except for lobby area, DPW except for the main entrance, police department except for lobby area, and recreation huts and the Whibbit hut.
So basically, that means none of the work areas?
Correct.
Just the entry areas for visitors? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Any other comments?
See, now make a motion to close the floor.
Move it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Item number 3, Resolution 2025-97, providing for a temporary capital budget.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, providing for a temporary capital budget in accordance with NJAC 5:30-4.4B. This is establishing the 2025 capital budget.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Larray?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 4, Resolution 2025-98, to support publishing legal notices on official government websites.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to support publishing legal notices on official government websites. This came from the New Jersey League of Municipalities. Many municipalities are adopting a similar resolution due to newspapers no longer printing daily, and to make advertising more efficient.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Larray?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 5, Resolution 2025-99, authorizing the appointment of a part-time electrical subcode official.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the appointment of James McCormick as part-time electrical subcode official for the Township of Lacey.
Move it. Second.
Mr. Larray?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 6, Resolution 2025-100, amending a contract with Nick Lex Construction.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending a contract with Nick Lex Construction under the terms and conditions of the Community Development Block Grant to provide a housing rehabilitation program.
Move it.
Second.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Larray?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 7, Resolution 2025-101, authorizing an agreement with Shore District Advertising.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, accepting and authorizing the execution of an advertising and sponsorship sales representative agreement with Shore District Advertising LLC. This is to potentially get event sponsorships.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. Larray?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 8, Resolution 2025-102, authorizing the cancellation of a tax lien.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the cancellation of tax title lien number 25-00054 due to error with MUA balances.
Move it. Second.
Mr. Larray?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 9, Resolution 2025-103, authorizing the refund of deposit monies.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the refund of deposits held for the use of municipal facilities.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Larray?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 10, Resolution 2025-104, authorizing the payment of township bills.
Resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the payment of township bills. This is in the amount of $1,368,984.30.
Move it.
Second.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Larray?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes. Item number 11, motion to approve caucus meeting minutes from February 13th, 2025.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 12, motion to approve township meeting minutes from February 13th, 2025.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 13, motion to approve executive session meeting minutes from February 13th, 2025.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 14, motion to approve budget meeting minutes from February 20th, 2025.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 15, motion to approve executive session meeting minutes from February 20th, 2025.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Comments from the committee this evening, Deputy Mayor Kennis.
Thank you, Mayor. Recently, we received the tax collector's report. I always encourage everybody to read it. I hope it's available on the website. It is. It's actually filled with a lot of good information. Our collection rate is still above 99%, and it has a list of like the largest taxpayers, which is always an interesting read. And on our the tax sales, I don't know if anybody knows how tax sales work in the township, But when you don't pay your property taxes or your MUA bills, it goes up to for a tax sale. And right now, you're able to go on a website and bid across the country. And it starts at 18% and it gets bid downward. And what happens is if it reaches zero, then somebody that's trying to buy your tax certificate pays a premium. And this year, our taxes owed were approximately $300,000 or past due. And the premiums bid were $1.1 million, which is an awful lot of money. And what happens to that money in the event that the properties get foreclosed on, the township gets the money. But that's very rare. So, those are my comments.
Thank you, sir. Committeeman McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. Last meeting, I read something from a friend of mine who sent this thing. I guess this person liked what I said. They sent me another one, and I thought it was appropriate, and I will read it. I'm not sure where this person gets this stuff from, but this stuff is pretty good. Cities are paralyzed by an impossible expectation. That progress must come with unanimity. For years, local government has treated unanimity as a gold standard of decision-making. We delay projects, restructure policies, and soften solutions in the endless attempt to make sure everyone is on board. No city has ever moved forward because everyone agreed. Cities move forward because leaders have the courage to act, knowing full well that opposition will always exist. Governance was never designed to be a group therapy session. It is not about waiting until every voice is satisfied. It is about making decisions that protect the long-term interests of the entire community, not just the loudest or most persistent factions. The belief that unanimous approval should drive decision-making is why infrastructure projects take decades to materialize. It's why zoning reforms get stuck in limbo. It's why elected officials hesitate to take necessary action, fearing backlash from those who will never be satisfied regardless of the outcome. Peel it back and you realize that leadership demands action in the absence of unanimity. Waiting for total agreement is the same as choosing inaction. And inaction, in and itself, a decision to let problems fester, costs rise, and opportunities slip away. Cities fail because leaders convince themselves that no choice is safer than the hard choice. The best leaders do not govern by committee. They do not confuse engagement with permission. They do not delay for the sake of comfort. They recognize that progress is built on momentum, not universal approval. If local government continues to chase unanimity, it will continue to chase its own tail, moving but never moving forward. Leadership is about making the right decision for the people who will live with the consequences long after the outrage has faded. Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you, Committeeman McDonald. Committeewoman Juliana.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to say that tomorrow is our Lacey Municipal Alliance Senior Luncheon down at Community Hall. It's there'll be speakers there, so it's interesting if anybody has the time and can make it to the luncheon. That would be great. It starts at 12 o'clock. This month alone, we have put out 58 fire calls of sorts. Thank God we have the volunteer firemen men and women that we have. Always appreciate them. Also, I wanted to say we had a wonderful meeting the other night in reference to our Beach Boulevard Park. And I think that it went over well.
Where were you?
I think our conversation about it went over well.
Good.
And I do believe the only thing that I was disappointed in is there was only 20 people. And sometimes that's the problem. People want things done, but then they don't come out to either support or not support. And that's really, I'm sure everybody finds that in whatever they try to do. You've got to come out and voice your opinion. It's important. But I think we come to some conclusions, and I think things are going to be taken care of. So that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Committeewoman Giuliano. Committeeman LaRue.
Well, the one thing about going last is your list gets shorter and shorter because everybody else speaks before you. But one thing I want to bring to the public's attention is, I don't know if they're aware of it, but the Board of Social Services for the county, within this past year, has put together a mobile outreach program. They got a vehicle, and they go from town to town to reach parts of our community that are not able either to get to either the northern, southern, or the main office in Toms River. So they put a calendar out every month where they're going to be, what programs can be discussed, because a lot of the public doesn't even know what's out there to be used, could help them, what is out there be available. But you can either go on the Ocean County Board of Social Services website to be where they are. But I wanted to let the public in Lacey know that on March 13th, from 9 to 12, 9 a.m. to 12, they will be at the Ocean Medical Center here in town. But just throughout the month, they'll probably be in 20 different locations around Ocean County. Peggy Sue already stole the thunder. The second thing I was going to talk about, that Fort River Bayfront Beach meeting we had Monday night with some professionals, the community, and ourselves. I know one thing, I found it very informational. I learned things about, even though I've been around these plants all my life, what I can step on and can't step on, and what's healthy and not healthy, but it was, I really enjoyed it because it's been an issue I know that's been bouncing around even way before I got up here. And it was nice to see how professional it was, how cordial it was, how informational it was, and I think we all walked away with something. So to me, I found that very, very positive. The one big thing that I mention every meeting, because it's getting closer and closer, pay attention, March 11th is the school board referendum. Again, I urge everybody to read, learn, and make what you think is your best decision on that day. And I don't know if the school's having any more meetings for this. Is the community group still having a meeting on March 6th at 7 p.m. at the library? If anybody cares to attend and hear some information on that. But this is one of the biggest nuts that's ever been put forth in front of our community. So please make an educated decision and vote for what you think's right for yourself. The other opportunity I had this past month, last week, I did get to go over to the MUA, meet the people there, and spend some time with our new MUA director, which was very impressive. But what I found super impressive this last month, I met with Chief Kenny and Captain Sullivan, and I got a couple-hour tour and in-depth discussion over at the police station. I gotta say, for what they have over there, they're really stuffing a lot in a small package. But besides being proud of the job they do, the care and what they're doing over there, and some of them even on their personal time, was super, super impressive. But I'll tell you, I walked away from there, you know, with the proudness I feel in this town. I mean, they just bring it to a whole new level. And everybody I met in there, from the detectives, the clerk, all the way up to the administrative staff, was just unbelievable. And that's all I have tonight.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I want to have a couple of comments about the governor's budget and his speech. I think it's most unfortunate, and I feel that this town and our zip codes have been maligned for a very long time, and I think a lot of that is in part to do with where we stand ideologically. So we're talking about a $58.1 billion budget, 67% higher than when this governor took office in 2018. And I would be saying this about anyone that was that fiscally irresponsible, regardless of the letter after their name. That bugs me, because you pay for that, we all pay for that. No matter where we're sitting in this room, we all have skin in that game. $1.2 billion in new fees and taxes. $1.2 billion in new fees and taxes. This is in a state with a robust gaming center in Atlantic City, online betting, sports betting, toll roads, and the list goes on. It's very unfortunate. It is emblematic of financial mismanagement, and I think it's a disgrace, and I don't advocate anything negative to happen to anybody, but I will be pleased when this governor exits and enjoys his retirement. So I will leave it at that. Please watch your mailbox for the New Jersey Tax Relief, the Anchor Program. One thing that was done, and I'll give credit, The Division of Taxation will act out here for tax relief for folks age 65 or over, and it's not $250,000 income anymore, it's $500,000. So keep your eye open for that. One short announcement at the Senior Center on Garfield Avenue in Toms River on March 31st. The Division of Taxation will be there in person from 12:30 afternoon until 2:30 in the afternoon to answer your questions. I don't want anybody to miss out. There's going to be a lot more eligibility, especially for our seniors on fixed income, 65 and over. So if you check those boxes in a tax year 2024, you can get this, and that's a big deal. I want to thank my colleagues for attending that waterfront park. And then I guess just a word moving forward. We have one official way to communicate with our residents, laceytownship.org, or you can call 693-1100, or most of the town has our cell phone numbers. And when I hear from different people and they call me, Pete, is this real? Is that real? Is that happening? Well, there's no name, or somebody used a different name. If you want the real, call 693-1100, go to our website. Because I work at the Board of Health, Veronica's a board member at the Board of Health, there has been, and I want to thank publicly Committeewoman Giuliano for bringing this to my attention. It's been a hot-button issue for the last couple of weeks about the so-called avian flu/bird flu. There have been no human infections in New Jersey. We have posted now to several locations the official Ocean County Health Department, and there's no shortage of academic capital that works there, press release. Please call 732-341-9700 if you have questions. We have a great communicable disease unit there. I worked there for several years inside that unit around 2009, 10, 11. So come to the source, learn it. We're here to support you. We're the officials. We'll always give you the real. So with that said, as Committeewoman Giuliano has said, if you can make the Alliance luncheon tomorrow, Heather and that Alliance do wonderful work. Try to get there. And with that, I will open up the floor. Regina. I had to pick somebody. I'm sorry, Mr. You go next.
You go next.
Yes, I do, because, yeah, I think I need an adjustment.
Thank you, Barry. Appreciate that.
I don't know what we would, Barry, I don't know what we'd do without you. You close doors, you adjust this, you're the man, Barry.
All right.
Okay,
I know.
thank you.
I want
Floor
Mr.
is yours,
Kennis's
Ms.
attention.
DeSenza.
Okay, thank you. Regina DeSenza, Sunset Drive, Sunrise Beach. I'd like to ask the committee if you have any questions about what's happening at the Board of Education. And last meeting, Mr. Kennis did say, I'd like to know how they do the budget over there.
I didn't say it like that.
Well, not with a southern accent, but here it is, okay? I brought a copy with you that's 10 years old. It should be destroyed, but I considered it pretty precious to me because it was the first one I ever saw. So I offered to speak with you, but basically the administration, specifically the principals, submit their annual budget wishes to the assistant business administrator and the business administrator. Then they create this internal document with all the itemized costs. Generally, the document runs about 68 pages or so, at least it was every year that I was on the board, and with many line items on each page. So I brought the old one to show you what it looks like. The board members would receive a copy of this report. We could pick out the line items, ask for justification, ask for it to be eliminated or adjusted, but rarely did we ever get asked our opinions on the budget line by line. First of all, the contracts dictated all salaries and benefits. Everything came out of the back of this book is the salary guides, okay? So there was very little wiggle room left for the remainder of the budget. If anyone had looked at Exhibit J19 on the current annual comprehensive financial report for the Lacey BOE, most people could see in black and white how little money was spent on maintenance and upkeep over the past 10 years on their 6 school buildings and the district office buildings. So for the past 10 years, long-term maintenance was deferred unless something was about to blow up. While I was on the board, we were told the boilers at the high school must be replaced or they could blow up. So of course, everyone agreed it had become a safety matter to replace 40-year-old boilers. Why? Because long-term maintenance was never properly attended to. With a board member in place currently for 33 years, it is their obligation to see that the schools are well run. I was aghast when I heard the news that 1, the high school boilers had not been replaced for 40 years, and 2, that no one on the board noticed that long-term maintenance was not being performed in a timely manner. Would you leave your home furnace on for 40 years? No, probably not, because that's far beyond the useful lifespan. Would you let your hot water heater go double past its useful lifespan? Probably not. The Lacey BOE seems to have an awful habit of letting things break down to the point of no return, or in the case of the high school boilers, sheer danger. I will never forget the day that Mr. George told us, well, they're in danger of blowing up. And he's like a missile through the roof. And I'm like, great. Sadly, the Lacey Township Board of Education has not been acting upon their state-mandated fiduciary responsibilities. Case in point is the budget. The BA presents the budget to the school board with very little input from the board, and the board has not exercised its full fiduciary responsibilities year after year. Since serving on the board for 6 years, I can attest that the budget was mostly rubber-stamped by the board with little to no input from board members. I did not vote for 5 out of 6 budgets because I felt they were ridiculous, and the only one I voted for was because it was a level budget from one year to the next. And quite frankly, someone begged me. No thought was given to the impacts of the employment contracts with raises over 2%, negotiated by board members with not a care in the world about the long-term effect which we see today. There have been no serious givebacks by the union that I'm aware of. The school budget is crushed by the employment costs that were negotiated without a thought for the future. How could a board continually approve contracts that they knew they could not afford? The state aid has drastically decreased over the last 10 years. In most terms, this would be characterized as an unfair labor practice. No one seems to care. It's obvious to anyone with a functioning brain that what the school board and administration is doing isn't working. Why would anyone vote to support a $92 million referendum plus $46 million in interest? What am I saying? I heard the finance lady tell Mr. Bidnick the number since I was standing right next to her when she said it. And give the district that has failed the taxpayers over and over again this outrageous sum of referendum money. I can't imagine supporting more fiscal incompetence of this magnitude, and neither should the taxpayers of Lacey. If you guys have any questions, this is the document, this is the contract. It's all here.
Thank you. Other comments this evening? Please.
He's in charge of that stuff. Somehow he got that job, I don't
You should
know.
sit in the front row from now on, Barry.
The back of my head shows up on the camera.
I know what that's like.
Oh, Barry, this is a little too high. Pat Doyle, Beach Boulevard, by the beautiful Barnegat Bay. I'm just here to give a word of thanks. And thank you for the very good vegetation meeting on Monday night regarding the Forked River Bayfront Park. Sorry for my voice. Thanks to Veronica. We don't always give you thanks.
That's okay.
But you arrange the meetings, and I know what a pain in the neck that can be. Committeewoman Giuliano, I totally agree with you. I can tell you that Barry Bender and my neighbor Denise walked around the neighborhood for 2 weekends, giving out flyers in the rain and the cold weather, trying to stir up participation and support. And there were actually more people there than I thought would be there. But it could have used a little more support. We are also a very seasonal community,
Right,
so.
that has a lot to do with it.
They're not here, but thank you to Barnegat Bay Partnership, Dr. Stan Hales and Bailey Sanders. A very diligent plan. I know I saw Bailey out at the Bayfront Park several times doing all her photography and cataloging of the plants, and I know they gave a lot of time,
Yes, they did.
and it was all pro bono,
Yep.
which was a boost to the township. And I do believe Dr. Hales, who has been coming out here for a very long time, feels somewhat of an affinity with our township and would like to help us in any way he can. Dr. Hales mentioned that there were a few citizens that came out and worked on the plan with him, Bailey, Mrs. Giuliano, and Senator. And I would like to thank those people also. I was one of them. We were a diverse group from the community. We were from the walking path, we were from the private beach, Daytona, Binnacle. We definitely were not all seeing things the same way. The first meeting was a little raucous, but there's one, excuse me, really good thing we did. We kept talking.
Right.
And we came back to the second meeting, and we sat down, and we realized it was time to start listening to each other.
That's right.
And we did. And we raised our questions, and we raised our concerns. And I think out of that, the plan that was presented is a beautiful plan. Now, I know there was more than that with the flower beds and all, which I'm for, but when I say the plan that we talked about, it was the mowing and the clipping that's been so controversial.
Yeah.
We were all from different points of view.
Yes, we were.
You know that. And some of the people I knew beforehand, some I didn't. They're fine people. I would work with any of them all over again. They're good people that really, all we wanted to do was resolve the contention and the controversy that had been going on. That was our total goal. I think the plan was a good balance. The plan is not about any one person. It is not about me, myself, and I, my house, what I want. It's about all of us, our community, and words that I don't think we hear too often, the common good.
Yep.
And I feel that it was a great plan, and I hope it is adopted, because it really did address all the concerns. And again, we are continuing to work together as a group. We'd like to join with the township. We would like to work with you, and I think we have a lot to offer. We have people that are motivated. We have people that have learned a lot already, and we're still learning all the time. Now our focus is the HESCO baskets. Report due out tomorrow. And the committee was very motivated and energized when we met. We believed there were different ideas that could help the Bayfront Park. One thing, if you do the clipping in July, I think, as was suggested, we offered to come out and take the training and help with the clipping and take some of the burden off Public Works. And we talked about doing whatever we need to do to make that a comfort zone for all of you, meaning one-day event insurance, a hold harmless, whatever you feel is necessary. And we thought we could even end it with a little celebration under the pavilion and try to encourage some more community spirit and community connectedness. Just one idea. We've thought of a lot of ideas, but that is just one, perhaps a 501c3, Friends of the Bayfront Park, and a once-a-year fundraiser. And, okay, you want to do that flower bed? See if we can get the money up to donate it. So there were lots of good ideas, lots of good knowledge. Please use us. We really do want to keep working with you. Last but never the least, Committeewoman Giuliano, I mean this from the heart. I'm going to start crying. This would not have happened without you.
I appreciate that very
No,
much.
I don't mean just this, the vegetation plan. I mean the connectiveness, the beginning, the first steps.
It hurt me to see the fighting, and that's why I had to figure it out.
I also believe from my watching things and experience, strictly my opinion, I do think it's shared by others. I mean this with all respect. You are the first committee person to publicly acknowledge our issues and our concerns at the Bayfront Park. We are deeply grateful for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You combine you are nobody's fool, and you disagree with no problem, but you combine what I call courage of conviction with empathy and support And that's kind of a balance you don't always find in people. I thank you, and I know a lot of people in the community thank you. Please keep working with us.
That's
Thank
for
you all
sure.
very much.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Seeing none, motion to close.
Barry,
He said it twice.
Sorry, guys, and I'll adjust it for myself, okay?
Mr. Bender, 1 second. Mr. Larray wants to
Okay.
comment.
I just, before Barry speaks, Pat,
Pat.
I want to thank you for your comments tonight, because as we all know, I'm a little new to all this, and like I said before, with the informative and cordial meeting that was the other night, because even though I'm new to up here, I'm not new to town and some of the issues around. And even sitting in the audience all last year, listening to everybody badger back and forth and different ways things went, I was totally impressed by Monday night's meeting. I'm not going to say I miss all the years that you were going back and forth and couldn't come to a consensus, but I didn't know what I was walking into Monday night. And I'll tell you what, it was just so professional, so well run. It seemed like so many people, you know, I say this all the time. No matter what, we're not always going to be on the same page, but we have to work together.
That's right.
Some are right, some are wrong. We got to come to a medium and move on. And when I seen that Monday night, I said, wow, from all the stuff I'm trying to use the right words because other things are in my head, going on the past few years since this all came to light, I gotta say kudos to everybody, from the professionals, the township committee, and all you residents. It really was. And I walked away, you know, you don't always walk away from all the meetings feeling good. That one I did.
I'll add to that and I also so disappointed at the abuse that was going on with both girls and you guys. And it was nothing short of abuse. And I know that because I was on the receiving end of these things.
Right. But we're going to put all that behind us, and we're going to move forward from here.
And that's why
Yep.
I felt that meeting was a turning point. And it had to be, and I really, Peggy, Monica were the two who did that.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're fortunate in Lacey Township to have strong women.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're letting people speak from
You can't let people.
Let's
go.
get to Barry. All right, Barry.
Very brief, because this will be every meeting now.
Yes.
May 31st, Relay for Life. We need teams, we need volunteers. It's going to go up on the electronic board as soon as I can get a logo to them, which I'll send out tonight. But we need more teams. The past couple of years, the number of teams has not been acceptable.
Barry, don't you think you should challenge this group here? I'll jump in. I'm ready.
I've
ready.
attended every year. It has gotten smaller, unfortunately.
We need,
Sadly, it has.
we need, I mean, last year it was like 6 teams.
Yeah.
We need at least a dozen teams. We're up to 8 so far. We're meeting every month.
God
Probably
knows
might
there's enough
throw
people
some
with cancer.
Zoom meetings in. But yeah, we're going to get it up on the board. People are talking about we got to get the word out there.
Right.
And every meeting I'll be spreading the word that we need people and we need teams. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Barry.
Please.
Hi, Laura Shetlick. I just wanted to thank the members of council who were at the presentation on Monday night. It was great talking to some of you before and after. I think they did a wonderful job, and thank you to the town council members who were part of the small group ahead of the presentation. The experts did an amazing job, and I thought a lot of people came away with learning a lot. I know I spoke to you a little bit, Bob, afterwards, and just going forward, I just want to, whatever plan you come up with as a group, I just want to offer up my time to volunteer in any way that I can, because you know my passion
Yes.
about it. So That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Anyone else this evening? Mr. Benting?
Richard Bidnick, Lacey Citizens for Responsible Government. Good evening, Lacey Citizens, Mayor, Township Committee members. Couple of things. I believe in consensus governing, and what we saw obviously from the group in the meeting that happened was the form of consensus governing that works. When you have input from everybody, of course, everybody can't possibly agree on everything, but at least people will feel better when at least they're being heard. It's very important in a democracy. Imagine if we were in Washington, D.C., and one person was ruling with an iron fist and 485 congressmen were just sitting there and not being able to function that way. That is not a positive way of running anything as far as I'm concerned. On another note, I want to mention for people who want to know about the referendum from a different perspective, the video from last week's program that we gave at the library was videotaped, and it's on the Lacey Citizens for Responsible Government Facebook page. It was very good because there were a lot of questions. There were people that work for the school there. It was kind of interesting, and there was the main thing that we talked about, we were showing in the PowerPoint presentation, was the maintenance issue. We went through the last 10 years of the maintenance budget for the school. And in 2015, it was $1.9 million for all 6 facilities. And as of 2024, it was down to $700,000. Now, in all logic, if you're running any type of a business, the buildings are the infrastructure that we, the taxpayers, own, okay? People come and go, staff members come and go, but the buildings we own, and they have not been maintained by the current body that is running our schools. This is quite obvious because when you look at the numbers, if it was so urgent, as I said, with all these problems, you wouldn't see a constantly declining year by year maintenance schedule on the amount of money that is being spent. So the problem we have is I don't trust, and I think most people who know what's going on do not trust the current individuals who are sitting on our school board to be making recommendations of this magnitude. I mean, the referendum itself is costing over $100,000. When you look at the study that they had to do with the special election, et cetera, and the mailings that they have done, they sent out 12,600, I believe, and about 100 public members came to that meeting. So they've spent a lot of money. Now, they have no money. You hear, that's what they keep telling us. But when it comes to their priorities, they have the money for it. And I think that, the taxpayers actually need to start sending a message that, there are issues with our school. Academic achievement, which is my big issue, which has not been addressed, and there is no plan. I can tell you this because I've been going to meetings for years, talking about this, addressing this topic, and there's no plan. I mean, I blame a large part the last superintendent that we had. She was incompetent, she lacked courage, and she put the school through a lot, and she was kind of like a yes man and tried to cover up a lot of the bullying, harassment issues that have been going on in our schools, which has actually brought the morale down for a lot of the students. And I have a parents group that I formed during COVID, that we got together during the COVID issue, and I hear everything that's going on. I mean, they all have kids in all the different schools, and every day I'm getting stuff in that message group about stuff that is going on in our schools. At this point, it's with the budget that just came out by the state, by the way. I passed this on to my group and several other people. There are figures for the state aid for our school district. It is a little over $7 million it will be for this year. Now, in 2018, it was $14.5 million. So it's basically half of what it was just 7 years ago. Now, if you were running an institution or a body and you knew, okay, because S2 explained pretty clearly the reductions that were going to be happening over the years. You have to plan, right? I mean, let's face it. you just don't allow a catastrophe to happen and then expect now the taxpayers to bail you out. I don't think it's right. And I think we need to send a message to the school board that they need to get their act together and they need to get their priorities together. And I'm sorry, but as I said at the last meeting, there are people who are in financial jeopardy in our community, and I just can't support something like this. I do believe some of the issues that they have can be done via a piecemeal project where they have to actually take it out of their operating budget. And they're going to have to prioritize what is really important, just like any other business would have to do. If you have a financial decline, you have to adjust. If you're living at home and you have issues in your home and your dollars are limited, you have to budget appropriately, just like our town has to. We all need to do that. And this is the opportunity we have as the electorate to actually have a say for once. It's been years since we've had any say on the school board budgets, which is something I wish that they would return, because I think it should be given back to us to decide. And hopefully someday in the future that will happen. But anyway, if you want, everybody, we're having another meeting on March the 6th at 7 p.m. at the library. Please do come. If you have any questions, it was a nice discussion, not a debate. There was a lot of stuff to be presented, and we appreciate everybody coming. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments this evening?
Seeing none, motion to close the floor.
Second.
All in favor? Resolution 2025-105, resolution of the Township of Lacey, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, authorizing the convening of an executive session in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act to discuss personnel matters pending anticipated litigation and matters of real estate.
Second?
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Kennis?
Yes.
Mrs. Juliana?
Yes.
Mr. LeRae?
Yes.
Mayor Kurtolo?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No further business.
That's what we say all the time.